Hi everyone, so I'm here outside Belmarsh prison and look who I bump into, the great Lee Stranahan. How are you, Lee?
Good, it's so good to be with you. Thanks so much.
I'm a big fan of your show, Lee. Lee's on Sputnik Radio. He does Fault Lines with Garland Nixon.
That's right, yes.
He's interviewed, he has Jamal Thomas, has been on there regular. I know many people from my channel will know Jamal Thomas very well, so we're in good company. Lee, you flew in, was it last night you flew in to cover this?
Friday morning. I flew in Thursday. So Julian was arrested on Thursday.
Yeah.
So by 6 o'clock that night, I was on a plane, U.S. time, for here, and it came in Friday morning.
Now, Lee, one of the things I've spotted since I've been down here is the succinct lack of mainstream media. Have you noticed that as well? I mean, I've noticed that there are basically 2 or 3 independent guys here, Sputnik and RT, and that's it. It tells a story, doesn't it?
Well, it does. I'll tell you what's interesting. The first place I went, so I get off the plane, leave my bag at the hotel, and then I immediately go over to the Ecuadorian embassy. Now, it's 24 hours after Assange is arrested, so I don't expect there to be anything there, but I figure I should go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I get there, there's 12 camera crews. While Assange was in the embassy, and before he was arrested, nobody. It was Rupley, Cassandra Fairbanks, and then she'd left. But there are 12 camera crews. And why were they out there? They're out there because they're vultures. And now they can do the stand-up. We're coming to you live from inside, from out in front of the Ecuadorian embassy where Julian Assange was, blah, blah, blah. They don't cover the story. And that's why I said during my speech here, journalism is behind those walls right now. And by the way, there's a bit of it out here, too. Yeah. But all the journalism... all the journalism in England is right here, right now.
I'm totally behind you, man. I'm totally behind you. It's one thing that I really noticed is the lack of media. And also, when I was down at the embassy, I went down there and covered that as well.
Yeah.
And what was interesting to me was how the supporters, the Julian Assange supporters there, they weren't talking to the mainstream media. The mainstream media weren't even coming over and asking to be.
They're not interested, no.
Because they know how much they're hated.
Yes.
And what I find interesting is, obviously they've been cheering on this Russiagate stuff, which you and I know has been absolute BS for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And they've been cheering on the persecution of basically what I consider to be the best journalist in the world. If you look at his track record and how many documents he's published, the fact that he's never been wrong on anything, he's 100% accurate. But I find it now, all of a sudden they've realised, haven't they? We've got editorials from The Guardian, from the New York Times and the Washington Post in the last few days, all coming out and saying, oh, it would be a bad thing after cheering it on for the last 3 years. Do you think they've suddenly realised, hold on a minute, the crosshairs could be on us next?
But the other thing you see him doing now is they're also putting out well, he's not a journalist. Why is he a journalist? You've seen that.
Yeah.
I believe it was the Washington Post.
Yes.
Op-eds. So they're trying to have it both ways. They realize that the government jailing publishers who are, let's go over this, who are foreign.
Yeah.
Right? So what if, fill in the blank, let's say, I'll use Putin as an example. If Putin wanted to wanted to get a publisher for the Washington Post, let's say, the world would be freaked out by that. They go, what are you doing? It's not your country. You can't do that. Let's say he was in a country, in Syria. They grabbed him. They said, we're going to extradite you to Russia.
Yeah.
People would be completely freaked out, and they've realized that could happen. Now, it's not likely to come from Putin.
No.
It's more likely to come from Theresa May. It's more likely to come from Donald Trump at this point, right?
Yeah, I find it interesting that Putin made a statement on it and saying that how important it is that he not be extradited. And he made a statement, and he's the one world leader that has actually come out on the side of journalism. I find that really, really interesting.
I will say this, though. In the States, we got Tulsi Gabbard.
Yes.
Tulsi Gabbard, she sent out an email last night about Assange. Now, it's a fundraising email. She's a politician. I get all that.
She's on the right side.
But still, she's on the right side, and I'm going to send her $20 just to say, good, keep that up. Because to me, anybody, and by the way, I don't even care if you don't. I'm a registered Republican in the States. I'm not a Democrat. But when a politician, whoever it is, I don't care what else they think, if they're standing up in this issue, they're taking a brave stand right now at the right time.
And of course, I covered Tulsi. I was on the Tulsi train back in 2017, early 2017, when Trump was first inaugurated. I became enamoured by her and her views, her anti-war views, and her war on peace. And I find it interesting that she has been standing up for Julian Assange, and obviously the working man's man, Bernie Sanders, he hasn't. Why do you think that is? He's been silent on it, hasn't he? Do you think he's playing the political game, and he's hamstrung by what he can say?
I feel about Bernie the way I feel about Trump. And I've been saying it about Bernie because I was a Trump supporter in 2016, and I don't regret that. Compared to Hillary, given my options, it was the same reason.
I think she would have been worse from a British standpoint. I think she would have been worse. People would still be asleep, and they're not now.
We would have been here 18 months ago. Hillary Clinton would have. She was talking about droning,
and possibly, of course, war with Russia because of Syria.
That's right. Yes. So in the same way that I voted for Obama in 2008, and given my choices, Obama and McCain, never regretted that vote for 1 second, despite the fact. So the phrase I've been using a lot is "Don't hate the player, hate the game."
Yeah.
Which is, this is not about Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump or even. There's a system going on.
It's a system, yeah.
And the system puts so much pressure on you. And well, you're not pro-Putin, right? You're not pro-Assad. You know, the murderers, dictator, blah blah blah, all that bullshit. I don't know if I can say that.
You can say what you like, mate.
But that system, and I've been saying it to my co-host Garland, who's a big Sanders supporter in 2016. I said, you watch. I said they're not going to get Sanders the same way they got Trump, but they're going to get him. And I'm worried about Tulsi in the sense that the pressure for her to conform. But she has put herself so far out there, not just these tepid statements, but boom, the U.S. should not extradite Assange. And now she's qualified to be in the debate stage.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And so,
I appreciate the fact that, I mean, you obviously, you were a Trump supporter back in 2016. Obviously, I would have thought you've soured on that recently with regards to it. But I really appreciate the way that you're not aligned to, you say you're a registered Republican, you're not aligned to one party or another. And that's really important because Tulsi has cross-party appeal.
Right.
And the reason she has cross-party appeal is because she's not partisan, she's not pro-Democrat, she's pro what's right.
Yes.
And I think we need more politicians like that because, as you say, it's the system that would need overhauling and not necessarily the people themselves.
The problem she's going to have is she should not have run as a Democrat. She should have run as an independent. And the reason I say that is because she's not going to make it through that gauntlet. The Democratic Party will not possibly allow, which is why there's like, I forget the number, there's like 84 candidates or something. It's a little high, but not much. It's seriously like 15 or 20 candidates. Yeah. So they've set up this system. But Bernie Sanders, I've been saying for a while, like, you watch, they're going to get to him. So Bernie Sanders 2020 is not Bernie Sanders 2016. It's very clear. But again, I don't think it's a person. It's very easy to go, well, this is a personal failing.
No, I think he's been pressured. I think he's been pressured.
And people don't know what the pressure. The pressure is unbelievable.
Well, I have said in the past maybe they've got his dog or something like that, and they're holding it hostage.
Yeah.
I know I'm joking, but I mean it's probably far closer to the truth than most people realise. But I mean he's definitely been pressured. I really appreciate you taking the time today.
To
speak to me, Lee. I'd love to get you back on the show because I want to speak to you about Bill Browder.
I'd love to.
You've got a lot to say about Bill Browder.
Quite a bit.
And I know quite a bit about it as well, and I want you to
I'd love to hear about it. And it all connects. It's the same.
It all connects, yeah. This is really important, people. It all does connect.
The Browder people, that group, Browder, Kordakovsky, that whole group, that is the same group that's put Julian in. Browder and Kordakovsky and that group of people, Jonathan Weiner, who's his attorney, and Kordakovsky's attorney, they are the same people who were trying to stop Trump-Russia. And Browder, of course, connects to the Integrity Initiative.
Absolutely.
And that's what people need. I saw somebody, they said to me, well, the work you're doing on Browder and the Ukrainian election interference is so important. Why are you here? And I said, this is the same story.
Absolutely.
There's no difference. This is the story. And again, if like the great George Galloway said, if they can shut down press freedom, you and me might as well just go check in there right now.
Yeah.
Right? And he's right. And,
absolutely.
And that's what people have to be worried about. If they can do to Assange what they did in broad daylight, which they did on purpose, I believe.
Yeah. It's broad daylight they did it. Well, I for one appreciate your support, and it certainly is. It's one of those times where you find out who your true friends are.
That's right, yeah.
Thanks very much for your time, Lee, and I will speak to you soon. Thanks very much, man.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thanks for watching. Please make sure you're still subscribed and click the bell below for a notification of when I drop further videos. Also, click through to my website to find out ways which you can support me. I can't do this without your support, and I really appreciate it. Till next time, peace and take care.